Hello, everyone. Today we're going to discuss Major General Christopher Finerty. And he was implicated in fraternization and having sexual relationships with subordinates. But before I go into that, let's just talk about him. So he graduated and got his commission in 1992 from the United States Air Force Academy. Now, I know in the Air Force Academy, they really talk about, the values of being a good officer and the expectations and good leadership. And I also know that, I was, as a Marine, taught about fraternization, that they certainly do teach that at the Air Force academies. In fact, they probably teach that at all the academies. But nonetheless, Major General Finerty was a pilot, and he has over 3,300 hours of flight time as a command pilot, primarily in helicopters and rescue squadrons and whatnot. And I'll put up his bio. I mean, he's got extensive experience. Deployed overseas many times, served in combat, highly decorated officer, and then was assigned to the Department of Air Force Legislative Affairs Office on Capitol Hill as a liaison. So he's the senior person running this office. And the purpose of this office is primarily to interact with Congress, the House, and the Senate, and also the White House. So it's a very important position because Major General Finerty is essentially the face of the Air Force for Congress and the White House. And so Major General Finerty, being a busy man because, the Congress has a lot of demands. So they're sending all sort of inquiries and whatnot. And they're going on trips, CODALs we call it, congressional delegations that need to be organized, visiting bases, visiting troops overseas, and whatnot. And the Air Force plays an important role in it because many times the Air Force got the assets that can support these congressional delegations, right? So he's an important person. Everybody knows him on Capitol Hill. The problem is this. Major General Finerty, and I'm having a tough time calling him a Major General, but nonetheless, starts getting involved with subordinates and starts fraternizing and starts sending inappropriate texts to enlisted women in his office. And there's hundreds of these texts. I'll put the IG report in the link in the comments so you can read it for yourself if you're interested. And some of this stuff is just disgusting, right? Using words like calling an enlisted woman a sexy bitch, highly inappropriate, but nonetheless. So he starts doing all this stuff and starts fraternizing and making sexual advances against civilian employees. And it just so happens that one of the civilian employees that he had multiple sexual relationships with was the wife of a fellow officer. Now think about this. This guy didn't have the self-discipline, one, to keep his distance, and two, he infringed upon the marriage of a fellow officer. I mean, it just blows my mind. So he's doing all this stuff, that this has been going on for a while, and somebody reports him. And sure as hell, the IG starts an investigation. And in 2023, he was removed as a liaison for Department of Air Force Legislative Affairs. He's replaced. He's moved out. Then the whole matter has to be adjudicated based on the IG's report. So that report goes up all the way up to the Secretary of the Air Force. And the Secretary of the Air Force decides that he can retire at the rank of Brigadier General as opposed to Major General. Now, that blows my mind also. This scumbag probably needs to be in the brig, okay? But they don't do that because there's a different set of accountability for general officers. And he's allowed to retire as a brigadier general. So basically what the message we're sending out to the force across the board is that you can go out and fraternize with subordinates. You can go out and have extramarital affairs, which is direct violation of the UCMJ, and you'll be allowed to retire at the grade of Brigadier General. Think about that. It tarnishes not only the officer corps, it tarnishes the service, but it also tarnishes other fellow generals. That this guy was allowed to retire as a Brigadier General when he should have been court-martialed for violating the UCMJ and reduced in grade, several ranks below, and fined heavily, to send the message out to the entire force that this type of behavior is not tolerated. And it seems to me a lot of the sexual harassment cases are senior officers. That's the way I'm reading it. And because if a junior troop does it, they're going to get hammered. We know this, right? But the senior officers, it seems like they're the ones that are involved in these things. And when they get caught, we just, a little tap on the hand. Hey, you can retire, get your pension for life, $170,000 for the pension is for Brigadier General, and enjoy your life, right? And that's unacceptable. We need to have one set of accountability, one set for everybody, from a private all the way up to a 4-star general. And until and unless we don't have that, we're going to continue to have these problems. And we need to stop covering up for general officers. Especially when they're just plain stupid. And when they violate their own special trust and confidence. When they violate their own honor, we should not allow them any leeway. So this is it's not, I certainly don't enjoy bringing these issues up. But all these issues that we've brought up, over the last several podcasts are emblematic of a bigger problem in the military. And it's all at the senior officer level. And until we start holding these guys accountable, we ain't going to be able to fix it. I've said it many times before. We got the best troops. We've got the best equipment. We've got the best training. But our leadership, quite frankly, at the senior officer level sucks because we're not holding these people accountable. Especially for perverse behavior like this. Imagine, I can't fathom calling a woman Marine a sexy bitch. It just wouldn't even cross my mind. So where are they coming up with this stuff? It's certainly not taught at the Air Force Academy. It's something is happening in the culture of the Air Force and a lot of these other services where senior officers think they can get away with this type of behavior. And it needs to be stopped. And I hope Pete Hegseth can stop it, but he's got this innuendos and all that stuff also. So that's going to be a tough one, right? Because then you got a double standard going on. But this double standard of accountability needs to stop. It needs to cease. That's the only way we're going to solve these issues. And it's important because it doesn't bode well for anybody. You should not be, nobody in the military is proud of the fact of we've got senior leaders that are behaving like this. I mean, this is frat rat shit, right? This is college boy stuff. And at some point, when you've got 25, 26 years in the military, you got to grow up. And unfortunately, Brigadier General Finerty never grew up. And I hate calling him a Brigadier General also. Unfortunately, this scumbag didn't grow up, and it's really disgusting in my opinion. But that's all I got. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Should he have been allowed to retire as a Brigadier General, or should he have gone up for, maybe a special or general court-martial and held accountable for violating, 3 articles of the UCMJ and punished more severely? And finally, I just want to say again, I thank everybody for viewing the channel, viewing my videos. I enjoy making them. I enjoy sharing this information with you. It just gives a different perspective. And, it's because of your support the channel has grown. So please share the link with your friends. Continue to hit like and continue to comment. I read every comment. I'll respond to the pertinent ones. We all have diverse experiences in the military, and people write about their experience. And I think that's refreshing to know that others have experienced similar things. So that's all I got. Stay rugged. Stay united. Khan out.